hate your job, but you also hate being broke, or you just don't know what your next step in life is career-wise, then this video is probably for you. This is especially for people who are looking to maintain financial freedom, maybe create some financial abundance without submitting to grind culture or just working in a way that depletes your soul, your spirit, your mind, your body. So if you're interested in learning more about that and what I recommend and how I implemented it, I recommend that you watch this to the end. If you have questions, you can ask the questions below. There will probably be some information in the description box because, again, I want to just hit the topics dead on so that we aren't rambling and I don't waste your time, so that you can get straight to understanding what is my daily work, what do I enjoy doing day to day, which is not passions. And so I'll explain all of that. But if you're in, watch this to the end, check the description box, and if this is valuable to you, please hit subscribe and share with a friend, okay? So I went through a process of making things a little safer for myself, but it was still high risk, right? High risk. And so you can create a safety net. So you can create a plan. You can create a system to where your jump is not as lethal as it would be if you didn't want to have one. But I think everyone thinks, oh, a risk is just immediate. No, stop and think, make a plan, right? But back to finding the thing, it really is just like, what can you do with a high level of competency without expending a lot of energy? I can talk a lot. I can give ideas a lot. I can talk for 8 hours a day doing something that's not customer service and have energy left over. And so then when I come home, I don't feel drained. And that is the key. Because I don't feel drained or horrible, I have the energy and the emotions to go do what I want to do. Whether that's my passion, hang out with my friends, or just have my own life. What's happening right now is that everybody has this spirit of heaviness because of this fear of the economic situation and this pressure and this push, and nobody can really think because their emotions and their bodies are like weighing them down to the ground, pulling them down, right? And they don't have anything to lift them up. And you tell people, oh, drink water, work out. They don't even have the energy to really be alive right now. So like, that's hard. And so what you have to first do is stop the bleed, stop the thing that's draining the life out of you, pulling you down, and come back to a net neutral. You're not great, but now you're not horrible. So now you can kind of start to think about what feels good, what makes me happy, and what keeps me healthy, right? Like, I had to get out of the soul draining place situation and go here so I can think, and now I can feel. And then that's hard. Sometimes you rock in that place for a long time because you've been carrying so much for so long, and bodies and minds and spirits get tired. It takes weeks, months. It's not a few days off. It's not a week vacation. Your body has to remember, oh, I'm no longer holding it. I'm free. I can think, I can feel, but you have to create a spirit of safety. Just like it's hard to be vulnerable in a relationship before there's trust and safety, it's hard to be vulnerable with yourself. And creativity is a form of vulnerability. It's hard to be vulnerable with yourself about what you want, what you desire, what you dream of, when you don't feel safe. You don't trust, and there is this lack of trust with self. Like, self is like, I don't trust you because you keep taking me back to a place that creates pain for me, and I don't trust you, and I'm not going to give you this part of me that is energetic and free and happiness and give us happiness because you keep bringing me down. So you have to bring back in the trust with yourself, which comes back to logic, feeling, and emotion in the body, right? And so really, it's like, what can you do with high skill? What are you really good at doing that is valuable? So it's like, maybe you like to type, maybe you like to write, maybe you like to move, whatever it is. What can you do that is valuable, that does not drain you? And then all of a sudden the money's on lock because you can make money without draining your energy. And then you still have all this time for yourself, not because you created more time, but because you created more energy and more positive emotion in the body, right? And then there are also things you can do. There are also things you can do in the recovery phase that help the mind and the spirit recover quicker. There is this idea, this practice called somatic practicing, which really helps a person ground themselves in their body. It's used a lot of times in trauma recovery, but it really is this like, come back to your senses, basically, because we live here. You cannot neglect the body because this is where you live. This is your path to life. Somebody was like, oh, the body exists for procreation. I'm like, no, the body exists so that you don't live in the sky or the ground or whatever you believe about spirituality. No, if somebody is inside of here, this is the physical place you live. This is your real estate. You interact with life through this thing. Like, this is how you get stuff done. This is how you meet people. This is how you have fun. You got to take care of this. And so it's like, you have to come back to the realization that this is where you live. And so somatic practice, it's like the art of noticing. It's me going, okay, how does this floor feel under my butt? And I observe that. Or how does this thing feel against my head? Like, you just notice that your body is touching and interacting with things. It's noticing your body. And then eventually you start to notice emotions in the body, because emotions are not just things that happen in your brain. They live in your body. And so then you might go, oh, when I feel happy, I feel light traveling through my chest. And I'm like, oh, so when I feel that, I know that's excitement. And so whenever I go into a place or I do something, I feel the light, I'm like, that's excitement. But maybe anger feels like tension right here. And so you're like, oh, I didn't realize I didn't like that, but I felt my body react to it. You have to pay attention to what your body is doing to understand your mental and emotional space. And that's really just biology, babes. Your body has always been this fanatical thing that works like a machine in the system. It's communicating with you at all times. The brain is a part of the body. Brain, but the body. It's like it's communicating through how you physically react to things. How do you think? How do you feel? Your opinions, what you desire, your passions, your love, your decisions, they all live in your body. Pay attention to it. But we live in a system that's like go, 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 go. And you're moving so fast and you combating all these things to the point where you don't have time to notice, which is really gets into a video that maybe I've posted by now, maybe I haven't. But I filmed a video about how the system is not really here to advance you. The system is here to keep you in your place, the role that it was designed for you. And the best way to do that is to make sure you don't think. And you might think you're not a feelings or emotions person, but that's what it does. It pushes your emotions, it triggers your feelings by showing you all this crazy stuff on social media that makes you angry about relationships and trauma retriggering. Because if you're thinking about that, you're not thinking about the system. If we fight each other, we can't fight the system. And so your emotions are getting triggered all the time. But your belief that you're not an emotional person is exactly why it keeps sabotaging you. That's coming back strength, being sabotaged by weakness that are hidden. You have feelings and emotions, and your only path to not being an emotionally driven person is to acknowledge them. Give them space to do the thingamabob. Acknowledging your feelings teaches you what brings me up, or at least to a net neutral every day. What feels like a good way to make money? What brings me down? You have to notice through feeling physically in the body and emotionally, right? That's really it. That's really just it. I mean, I could wax poetic forever, but I don't want to make it too long. And I think you have what you need. If you have questions, drop it below. But if you rock with this, subscribe. Yes, I'm a musician, so I do music, and I will post music when I am doing a rollout. But mostly I just like to talk about stuff in life and me. And, you know, I'm really like nobody but a girl on a screen. So you don't have to take my advice. You don't have to do what I do. But, you know, sometimes it's just nice to have a different perspective of people who have done things that we want to do. We don't have to do it the way they do it. It's not Bible. You don't have to get angry. You don't have to fight with me like people do in the comment sections on like TikTok and Instagram. You don't have to fight with me. You can scroll. But sometimes it's just nice to hear something that gives us a little inspiration that there's more we can do. And that's really what I do. I make videos about the things I think about. Sometimes I think about relationships. Sometimes I think about politics, the politics of gender, because why? I'm a woman. Every time I go outside, I'm a woman. So it bothers me. Just like every time I go outside, I'm black. And so people having attitudes towards black, all of it. So just blackness affects me, me as a woman. So I just make a video about whatever I'm thinking about, what I'm feeling. It's just it's like a conversation with Kady, a little chit chat with Kady, kiki with Kady. And if you like these conversations, tap in, babe.